Yeah, so now that you have properly scoped your project to your satisfaction, in fact, if you are not satisfied, you can still use the scope of work tab to play around with your features in the last video. So, but I want to walk you through each of these tabs, especially how to create your first release. So, we release your apps using releases. So every release is like a new version of your app, public version of your app. So you can now scope your entire scope of work, break it down into smaller releases, just so that nothing is holding you back. You break them into smaller releases. We build each, release, get it out there for you, and you just keep building, adding releases to the market, and your product is growing to that perfect build. So you have the general tab that talks about the description of your app, scope of work, which is where you play around to rearrange your first three versions. So, but this is the cool guy, the release tab. Now you want to create your first release. So you click on create your first release, and this is it. Now we work version to version. So in creating your first release, AI has estimated the cost of each feature, in your first version. So if you say, oh, um, all of these features might be too expensive to build right now. I just want to get started with my app. Let me release a few features. So I can go ahead and click a few features. Let me just flex. I can go as far as 8 features. Yes, I think 9 features. So I come down here, I can now check the development time frame. How long will all of these, take to build? I click check development time frame. So everything is running on the background, fully powered by AI. We are an AI first company. So based on your selected features, here is an estimated development timeline. So we are telling you now that your timeline exceeds 30 days. We like to release we like to deploy a release within 30 days. So if we estimate that your release is going to take more than 30 days, we are going to suggest some features you will, have to remove and keep it for a future release. So AI is suggesting that you remove content moderation system. So I can now come back here and remove content moderation system. Then check development timeline again, and all will be good. So now it will take us 28 days to develop this piece. So you can save as draft to continue playing around with this particular release, or you generate an invoice by submitting the release. So you click submit release and generate invoice. There you go. You see your version 1 is ready. So if you go back to releases, you see that your version 1, 8 features, the cost, is ready. You can now click to view details. Now, there's nothing you can do right now because this release is awaiting payment. So you can now go back, go to invoices. You see the invoice for that release. Click view invoice. Now, this is a professional invoice that details all the features you want to build, and with payment details at the bottom. So you can just go ahead, make payments, and your first release is ready to move. You can download the invoice or just view it in your portal directly. So that's up. Once payment is received, invoice is marked as paid, and we can now move to the next step. Yeah.